All right, my brother. Episode 56 of By the Numbers. What have we got going on tonight?
Man, we got 5 movies once again. We got the Bellaire House on Scare Network TV. We have I.S.S. movie theater. We have Justice League Infinite, or oh man, I can't talk. What's it called? Help me out here.
Crisis of Infinite Earths Part 1.
Infinite Earth. It's a mouthful.
It is.
That's
what she said.
No one ever said that with me.
No, me neither.
I have to pull up the Tiger movie on Paramount.
Tiger's Apprentice, right?
Yes. And then a Monk's Last Case. This Monk's Last Case, right? That's what it's called.
Monk's Last Case.
Yeah. On Peacock. Those are our 5 movies. I know it was hard for me to get them out. It was a mouthful. So
it was.
There you have our 5 movies.
Nice. All right. I think we've had enough to do, so let's get it rolling. 5, 4, 3, 2 quiz. What is up, everybody? Thank you so much for joining us as the Faces for Radio podcast presents By the Numbers, where we check new releases in the theater, streaming, or on video. We watch them and we decide, what we thought. And that's pretty much it. I am your host, David, and my co-host is
Rich. How you doing, man?
I'm doing good, brother. I just got back from Colorado on Sunday. And had a great time with my buddy John over there. We had a great 100th episode for Spirits with Spirits.
It was a lot of fun.
So how are you doing? What's going on with you?
Not much, man. Just a busy day, running all over the place. I barely got here on time. So yeah, that's it, man. Really.
Yeah. I had a long episode with Mika and Kira. As we were talking about True Detective, episode 4. And that literally ended 20 minutes ago. So we had to jump right into this. So sorry we're a few minutes late, you guys, but let's get to the chat and say, hey, what's up to everybody? Jay comes in first. So Jay, brother, good job. So Jay gets the cookie. Good to see you, my friend.
And he's coming up on a show.
Yep. Can't wait to see Jay next week. He'll be on for Valentine's Day.
Yeah.
And that's going to be a great show. We got a lot to talk about there.
Yeah, we do.
Hey man, dang it, Jay, you stole my cookie. That's right. Please hit the like button if you like cookies. Well, I hope everybody likes cookies. Yeah. And yes, he did. So they're going back and forth. Let's see. Having great weather here in Iowa.
It was, man. It's short weather.
It's short weather for you guys, but for us, it's been raining since we got back on Sunday. It seems like we took the good weather up to Colorado, but then brought the bad weather back to California. So it's been just raining, and it's actually might be cold enough to snow tonight. I don't think the snow level is going to hit us where we're at, but it's supposed to get down to almost freezing tonight. So almost like 34, I think, is supposed to be the low. And what is up, Miss Caveman? Good to see you. Holland is in the house. Mika, good to see you. I had a great show with you and Kira on for True Detective. That was a lot of fun. We got 2 more episodes to talk about. Everybody's saying hey. My buddy Mike is in the house. Michael, thanks so much. Glad to see you, brother. But yep, saying hey and hey and hey. So lots of hey. We have 14 people on live with us tonight to start.
We appreciate you guys.
We got including 2 on Twitter and 2 on Facebook.
Awesome.
So Usually I don't have more than one on Twitter, so that's awesome. Glad to see you guys there on Twitter. Unfortunately, you guys can't comment, but you guys can actually watch us live as we talk about these 5 movies. We have an unusual one today because we're starting to talk about the
Mm-hmm.
the documentaries and stuff that's on Scare Network TV. And you guys, if you don't know, Scare Network TV, John and I from Spiritual Spirits, we have an affiliation with Scare Network TV to where our show, the Spiritual Spirits podcast, is on there every week. And I talked to Rich about it, and we're going to do some crossover stuff with their documentaries when we have slots available, to where we can talk about some of the content that Scare Network TV has. And you guys, Scare Network TV is free to sign up. It's free to subscribe. You just get ads, or you can pay the premium service of $4.99 a month, and you can watch it without ads. It's just like, Paramount Plus or Hulu, except it's a lot cheaper. And they
Yeah.
specialize in paranormal documentaries, true crime, monsters, and horror. So if you guys get a chance to check that out, it's scarenetwork.tv. It's also available in the Roku app and now on Amazon Fire. Um, Pretty soon will be available on Apple and Android apps as well. All right. So you made me watch 5 more movies, and including 2 cartoons, you bastard. But
I
I
loved
also,
one and I didn't like the other one at all.
and that's interesting because I liked them both. I didn't love the one as much as you did, and I didn't hate the one as much as the other one as much as you did. Um, but I'm not gonna say it was a good week, but they weren't bad.
No,
It
no.
just it was okay.
Yeah.
Um,
One
and I
movie
want to make
I
sure
didn't know I was gonna like, and I
buy
ended up really liking it.
yeah. Because I we didn't do buy, borrow, and bail last week, but we were on a short week and I was getting ready to leave, so I forgot all about it. But we're gonna bring back buy, borrow, and bail this week, and we'll see
Yes.
what our thing is. And we've got a new show coming up, so we're gonna talk about that later. So as we do, we take these 5 movies, we watch them, we score them, and then I rank them from 5 to 1 based on our average score. Which do you think got the lowest score this week?
I am going to go with The Tiger's Apprentice.
Yeah, I think that's a safe bet. Because you did not seem to like this one very much, bro.
Mm-mm.
What was it about this one that kind of turned you off?
The animation style, it felt very generic.
Mm,
It had a great cast, but the acting didn't work for me. The voice acting didn't work. Um, I mean, the story was okay, um, but yeah, it was very boring for me.
mm. Okay. Well, yeah, that makes sense. All right. So
Well,
yeah,
but
the
I did like. I take that back. There was the parts I did like was the totems. I did like whatever they call them. I call them totems.
the Zodiac, the
Yeah,
Zodiacs.
yeah, I did. I thought that was pretty cool.
Yeah. So you guys, the Tiger's Apprentice does come in last place this week. I actually enjoyed this. This reminded me of the animation a lot like Wish Dragon, which came out a couple of years ago. And of course, it was also Chinese origin with the Zodiac. It didn't have the Zodiac, but had the dragon and things like that. It had a little bit kind of reminded me of Kung Fu Panda, kind of um, with the "You're the Chosen One" and blah
Yeah,
blah blah. By the time Justice League Part 3 comes out, it will complete a 10 movie story arc.
that's they. Oh, the DC movies all do that. Animated movies, though, before the universe that they're in now, there was probably like 15 movies that made one long story.
Yeah, yeah. So Mika hasn't seen this animated film.
It's
And
okay, I guess. I mean,
we're gonna talk about that. I liked this. I did not have a problem with the animation. I didn't think it was great,
see,
but I enjoyed it. I think this is meant for younger
yeah,
audiences a little bit. Even though there's a lot of fighting in here.
hmm
I think with the way the animals are depicted in the Zodiac and the way that they do some of the dialogue,
Yeah.
and even some of the fight scenes are meant to kind of cater to younger, like under 10.
I
Like,
get that. But see,
yeah.
I think my mistake was watching Orion in the Dark before this. And that's a
Oh,
movie
see,
with, uh,
yeah,
and we're talking about that next week.
yeah.
And the animation in that I absolutely loved.
Hmm.
And so maybe that was my mistake of watching this and that after that. And this was like a letdown for me.
That's interesting. Um, well, um, I have a little because Grant sent me a review for this.
Oh, that's right. I remember you saying something about that.
Um, and for the life of me, I can't find it. So I'm going to download it again because I'm sure I had it.
Oh, and we will be having another code giveaway while he's doing that.
Yes,
We'll
we
be
are.
giving away a digital code for the Covenant.
Yep. That'll happen. That'll happen between 2 and 1 before we get to the top one. That's when we'll do it. I think that seems to be when I remember or when
Yeah, I
Rich
know.
reminds me. So, um, so that's when we're gonna do it is during that time. So, speaking of which, I want to make sure I have that. But I actually enjoyed this, and you said there's a great cast. You've got a great cast. Henry Golding is the tiger.
Hmm.
And yeah, his voice was undeniable for me.
Yeah.
You got Michelle Yeoh in here. You've got Lucy Liu in here. You've got Cherry Cola from Joyride. You've got uh, Greta, the girl from Past Lives.
Hmm.
Got her in here, so it's got a really good cast. Um, and I didn't have a problem. I do think the acting wasn't very good. The voice
Hmm.
acting wasn't as good. But my issue was I was comparing with Justice League, and I thought Justice League was a little bit better production. The way that they did it
Oh
was a
yeah.
little bit better. But I still enjoyed this, and I think this is worth a watch, you guys. It's on Paramount Plus. Um, it just yeah, I think there are better ones out there, but this was a decent watch.
Yeah.
I like the whole story with the Zodiac and the Guardian of the Phoenix and the gem and the stone and the bad guy. I'm into that culture and the way that
Hmm.
they do that stuff with the charms and everything. I thought that was really neat. So I kind of dug it.
I don't know. It's just the animation style just felt very generic.
Mm. Yeah, no, I can understand that. I mean, especially I don't know about Orion in the Dark, and I'm sure the animation is probably really
It's
good there.
very. It
In
reminds
it.
me of Pixar. It really
Yeah.
does.
Yeah, but I mean, if you're trying to compare the animation with, say, Across the Spider-Verse, it's not going to hold up.
Oh yeah. Like
But if
even the Justice League animation is very distinct.
yeah,
It has a very like it's got almost like pencil lines to the outside of the character. It's hard to describe. It's got a thick line.
mhm.
Each character in Justice League has a thick line around them, and I like that style. And this just felt very early 2000s CGI um, animation to me. Very early DreamWorks, if that makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. I am having a terrible time. All art is subjective,
That
just
is
like all
true.
movies are
The
subjective.
movies are art.
Totally understand
Yeah,
that. Love Michelle
so do
Yeoh
I.
is one of my favorites of all time. I've loved her since the 90s. And just how she has grown
Hmm.
as an actress, and in to get the Oscar for Everything Everywhere All at Once.
Oh,
Um,
that made my day.
Now we're seeing her in a lot of stuff now.
Hmm. She has a TV
Um,
show on Netflix, I think, too.
yeah, she's got some The Brother's Son or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
That she's doing on Netflix, and plus she did um the Blood Origins, the
There's something on Disney Plus too, isn't there?
She did something. She did something on Netflix. It was, I don't know if it was a Game of Thrones thing, or I don't think it was Game of Thrones. It was something else. But she did some kind of Blood Origins prequel series, and she was in that. She of course was in Star Trek Discovery.
Speaking of that, little tease for our new show. There was something announced with Michelle Yeoh on. They started casting her Star Trek movie.
Yeah,
sweet.
Yeah. So that's going to be a lot of fun. I'm looking forward. I'll watch anything with her in it. It's not even a question. I'll watch anything with her in it. Let's go to our highlights on Tiger's Apprentice, as I am still trying to download, and for some reason I'm having so much of a problem. So it's there, but for some reason I can't get it.
Well, while you're doing that, I'll read some of my highlights while you're doing that. My highest score is 7 for the subgenre. I got two number 3s for the cast because I recognize the voice, but I couldn't put the names to them. And then the trailer. The trailer didn't get me. And a bunch of 5.
Yeah. Okay. For some reason, I'm downloading it, but then I can't find it. That's weird. That's so weird. I see it there.
But when you download midget porn, you always find that, right?
Oh, it comes up right away.
He's talking about the porn. No, I know. He's talking about the porn.
Oh, yeah, the porn. That's right. That's what I mean.
And he's still waiting.
So
did you? I hope you guys. Did you find it?
I found it. Come on. But it's not. I can't see it in StreamYard, which is really weird.
Yeah. Is it different? Is it formatted wrong?
It's formatted as a. That might be. It's formatted as a movie, as an MOV.
Doesn't it be an MPG4 or MP4 or something like that? It
should be MP4. Yeah. And I think that's probably the problem I'm having.
Yeah.
Is it's not in the right format, but I can do it this way. So I'm just going to play it and share my screen.
Yeah.
Because if that's the way it's going to happen, then that's the way it's going to happen. Boop, 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 boop. Okay. But I want to do that because this is for Tiger's Apprentice.
Yeah.
And it only makes sense.
Yeah.
That window.
And thank you, Grant, for doing this for us.
Yep. We really appreciate this, my friend. Let's see. Bring it up. Can you see it?
I can't.
Because I am not seeing it.
I don't see it at all. I just see our movie, the back. Oh, there we go. There's Grant.
Hey guys, Movie Buff Grant over here, and I am going to be talking about The Tiger's Apprentice. I just got done watching this movie yesterday while I was on a little mini vacation spree. And I do want to say that the movie is 100% fine, in my opinion. Like many people, all films are subjective. And this movie is a little bit better than Under the Boardwalk, which is one of the worst movies that I've seen in 2023. None taken. But the animation is a little bit decent. The story was very well told. The script was not even close to being good. But other than that, The Tiger's Apprentice, if it comes out on physical media, I am picking it up as a true recommendation. Dave, Rich, hope you guys are doing well. and I will see you guys all later.
Thank you, Grant. We really appreciate you.
Yeah, that was awesome. So yeah, and I've got his score around here somewhere. So I'll pop that on in a second. But as for my highlights on Tiger's Apprentice, I actually threw a lot of sevens at this for the trailer because I was in on it. The ending, the story, the visuals, the sound, the genre, and subgenre were all sevens. Nothing higher than that. And then I'm sorry, I gave an 8 to the cast because I did recognize these guys from their voice. But I've seen tons of stuff. Michelle Yeoh, I can recognize her as right off the bat. Henry Golding, I recognize right off the bat. Lucy Liu, I recognize right off the bat. And then there were a few people after that I was like, okay, I know that voice, but I'm not sure who that is. And it was Greta Eng from Past Lives that I recognized, but I wasn't sure. And then Cherry Cola from Joyride. But and this was interesting. Like I said, not great. And I agree with Grant. I think it was fine. It wasn't, nothing to write home about. It's not something to go chasing after. But it was, it was okay. And speaking of okay, hey Sarah,
What's going on, Sarah?
She says, "How's my boys?"
Doing pretty
And
good.
we're doing pretty good. And everyone in the chat. And she's 41 years old. You are young, so don't worry about it.
Us.
And shouldn't animated fall under foreign releases as far as cast scoring, since you have no visual reference?
It's all
it's all voice recognition.
Mm-hmm.
I also look at the cast list in IMDb and just okay, yeah, and then that's where I go, yep, I knew that voice, that voice. So that's where I get my scores from. But I do see your point there. But if it's someone that I would not recognize, even by the voice, if it's a foreign movie, then it's got to get that 4 base.
Mm-hmm.
But animated movies, if they're made in America, and I think unless you don't know who the actor is, then if you know the actor, you should be able to recognize the voice, at least a little bit.
Yeah.
But everybody's saying hi, everybody acknowledging Grant. Grant's awesome. Thank you, Grant, for doing that for us. And we'll see him next week because he also gave me a review of Orion in the Dark. So
I'm interested to see what he says about that.
I'm interested to see what he says about that one. And he's also going to give us one on Madam Web when it comes out. So we're going to look for
pile of shit.
Yeah, he's going to give us some reviews as we go along, because I was like, I probably couldn't put together a family friendly by the numbers because we do them as we get them.
Yeah.
But if you want to throw a review on for any of the movies that we do watch, I'll be happy to play it. So
yeah, did you see where for Madam Web they ain't releasing the critic reviews till the day before the movie comes out, and that is not a good sign.
That's not good news. That's kind of scary.
Yeah, that means that movie sucks. They have no faith in it.
Yep, they do not trust this movie at all. All right, let's go to our final scores on Tiger's Apprentice. Is coming in 5th place, you guys. There it is. IMDb is giving this a 5.6. Rotten Tomatoes critics score 50%. Audience score 79%. Rich, you gave it a 50. I gave it a 67 for a total average score of 58.5.
You're a lot higher than me.
I was. But yeah, I was like, I like that. I like that more. I like that more than you did. I enjoyed it. Will I watch it again? Probably not. Will I look for it on physical? Probably not. If I watch it again, it'll be with Piper, because I think Piper would like it. I think my granddaughter would enjoy it. Yeah. With all the colors and the animals and stuff. I think she would get it.
Yeah.
All right. So, which one do you think is number 4?
I am going to go with. Let me look at my numbers here. Oh, shit. I'm gonna go with I.S.S.
That's not a bad choice. Our number 4 movie of this week is, however, Mr. Monk's Last Case.
I liked this. I have never watched Monk before.
And I think that reflects in your score because there's not a lot of recognition.
Yeah.
But I enjoyed this. I'm a fan of the series. I loved Monk. I own the whole series. So to get this last movie was really fun. And it's the same old Monk with the same old stuff, only, it's after COVID. So the way his neurotic behavior kind of fits with how everybody is supposed to be after COVID. So that was kind of fun to get that. It's something that I wanted out of Big Bang Theory because Sheldon behaves the same way. So I was like, wouldn't a Big Bang Theory movie be awesome where Sheldon was right all along with COVID hitting and all that? I think that would have been a lot of fun.
Yeah, I agree.
Mika says, love the series Monk. Have to see this one. This was good.
Definitely see it.
It was basically a double episode of Monk. It behaved exactly like the series. It was really interesting. I used to love to watch Monk. I liked the movie. It was very dark, though. I agree with that.
Is it depressing like that? I mean, but I understand he's dealing with a loss. But does that loss happen in the show?
Did they have all the same cast? Yes, actually, a lot of the same cast. Not Sharona from the first half of the series, but the new. I'm going to call her a nanny, but she came back, and then Ted Levine and the old cops, but they were doing other stuff. So yes, there's with his wife dying. That happens in the series. That happens before the series starts, and that's kind of how he gets his neurotic behavior.
Oh, so when the series starts, the series premiere, she's already dead?
Yeah, she's already died. And it's basically this is what's triggered his OCD and all of his stuff is this death, and he never got over it. But with that, just about everything bad that happens to him, a person leaves or something like that, he attributes that or associates that to the grief of losing his wife. So it all falls back on it. And he's in this constant state of grief. I thought it was really interesting. And by dark, Miss Caveman,
it is dark.
It is dark because in the series he never contemplates suicide really.
Yeah.
Like this. And this was an interesting yet a tough thing to kind of watch him go through, where he was kind of in this finality, but then he knew he had to help someone too. So all things happen for a reason. So the Monk movie got a lot darker than the series ever did. I agree with that. And we just talked about it. If you're not super familiar with the show, there are some things that could be confusing. I had to tell Guy that Trudy was dead.
See, right. I mean, it wasn't confusing, but it was kind of obvious.
Yeah. I like the series and the Monk movie. Thanks, Brian. And good to see you.
Yeah.
I thought Ted Levine looked good. I was really impressed with how he looked, and he looked better in the movie than he did in the series. I love the TV series Monk as well as Psych. Psych was fun. I liked Psych. Psych was The Mentalist as a comedy. So I enjoyed Psych too.
This was fun for somebody that never watched the TV series. I wasn't lost. I was just I jumped in and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. So the synopsis on this reads: it follows Monk, a brilliant detective with obsessive compulsive disorder, returning to solve one last case involving his stepdaughter Molly, a journalist preparing for her wedding. Because of what happened to her fiance. And I'm not going to go into too much detail on that because it's definitely worth watching, you guys. It's even if you have not seen the series, the movie is actually worth seeing because it's an interesting just the whole storyline is really interesting how how the murder happens and trying to solve it and the crazy stuff that happens. Thought that was really cool.
Yeah.
Solving his wife's death is what made him a great detective. Yep.
What's up,
All
Corey?
right. Corey, good to see you, my friend. Going to be driving, but we'll be listening along.
Hey, drive careful, man.
K-Man says Chuck doesn't deserve to get enough.
I love Chuck, bro.
Chuck was great. I own that series as well.
I do too. I have that box set.
Big fan of Chuck.
On Blu-ray.
Brian loves Chuck, Psych, and Monk. Good.
I love Chuck.
I hope we get another movie. That'd be fun. I wouldn't mind getting another Monk movie.
I would definitely watch it.
I had met Tony Shalhoub in New York City at the MoMA. Okay. I bet he's a nice guy. That's one guy I hadn't had a chance to meet. But yeah, I've heard he's really nice too. I didn't read the synopsis on Tiger's Apprentice, but you get the idea of what's going on.
Mm-hmm.
So this was fun. I kind of presented it. It came out December 8th. It's a little bit past our window because we're trying to do stuff within a month. But we were kind of desperate for titles for February. So I was like, hey, how about we do this? It's a movie, even though it's based on the series. And it's on Peacock right now, you guys. So it's definitely worth watching. It's a cool little detective.
I'm glad you picked it.
Funny. But let's go to our highlights on it. Let's see. Rich, you threw a couple of 8s at it for ending and story, and then a 7 for the subgenre. 6s for acting, direction, and genre. I threw 8s for trailer and ending, and subgenre, and then I threw a 7 for story and for sound. Oh, and an 8 for the cast because I recognize them from the series. So, like I said, if you'd have recognized the cast or watched the show, you'd probably be right up there, closer to me in points for the final score of the movie. But I think ultimately, this is worth a watch. Definitely, if you're a fan of the series, this is for sure.
Definitely check it out.
Even if you're not, this is something to watch, and then maybe go back and watch the series so you can kind of get an idea of how it all starts.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, this was fun. I enjoyed it. Let's go to our final scores on it. IMDb is giving this a 6.8. Rotten Tomatoes critics score 95%. Audience score 80%. Rich gave it a 60. I gave it a 70 for an average score of 65.
Good
so
score.
Yeah, you'd have been like 64 or 65 if you'd have recognized more of the cast.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm like, oh, it's got that guy and this guy and Ted Levine, and it had a lot of the original cast, only they were doing different things, and I thought that was really cool. It was neat.
It was a fun movie. I mean, even though it was dark, it was still a fun movie.
Yeah, going back 2 years for the Bull movie was admittedly too much bull to suggest it. I know you keep bringing that up, brother, but yeah, it's just, it's a little bit too far back for us, but it might be something that we revisit, or something if we bring you back for another high five, you can bring it up, and then we can go watch it. But yeah, we're trying to watch the movie within a month of its release.
Either theater,
streaming, or physical. So if we don't get a chance to watch it in the theater, then we'll watch it when it hits streaming. If we don't get a chance to watch it then we'll do it. We'll review it when it hits physical.
Yeah. So there's a nice window gap for most movies.
Yeah. Which is why Killers of the Flower Moon is coming up next week, because it just came out recently on streaming, and we didn't get a chance to watch it in the theater. So
have you watched it yet?
No. That'll be this weekend. I'll watch it this weekend.
Make sure you take pee breaks. It's long.
Yeah, I'll probably put a catheter in or something. So, or watch some midget porn before, and then go to it, and then it'll be fine. Yeah. We definitely have to get back for another high five.
Yes, you do. So I can be online.
I would love to have you guys back for another high five, or a By the Numbers episode. Because I love talking to Mika and Kira. It's so much fun. realize that, but it just became available in the States. I know, and it does kind of make it fits a timeline, so we still may put it in at some point, but we've already kind of got February booked now
and half of March.
and half of March. So it because when it came out, by the time we put it in our lineup, it'll be outside the window. So
there's a lot of movies, man.
It's not that we didn't want to see it, but
you made me watch some shit movies. You made me watch The Retirement Plan.
I did. And then what did you make me watch that sucked?
A lot of shit.
A lot of shit.
So what is our third movie?
That's a very good question. And you were almost there because you thought it was our fourth movie. Our number 3 movie this week, you guys, is I.S.S. It's in the theater, although I don't think it'll be in the theater for much longer.
I think it's this week it became available on VOD.
Yeah, I think it's hit Vudu and VOD, as well as The Beekeeper. I think Beekeeper has hit Vudu. So I.S.S, you guys, and I know Nate hated this movie.
I mean, I didn't hate it.
I liked it, but you can't. There's not much you can get out of this.
No, I thought, oh, cool, we're gonna get a slasher in space, but then no, we didn't. Because
I thought it was gonna be. I thought it was gonna be more of a thriller, more tension and stuff like that. It really kind of came to a head really fast. Kind of sci-fi, but I feel that this is more of a thriller. Although it happens on the International Space Station. Let me read the synopsis. It's actually labeled a sci-fi thriller. It says tensions flare in the near future aboard the International Space Station as a conflict breaks out on Earth. Reeling, the U.S. and Russian astronauts receive orders from the ground to take control of the station by any means necessary. So basically, they see from the International Space Station that war has broken out between Russia and the U.S. And their respective governments sent a message to them saying, take control of the I.S.S. because it's a pivotal foothold in the war. So what you have are 3 Russian cosmonauts and 3 American astronauts that are now going to be at odds with each other when they have been friends on the space station, and they're kind of, comrades. Speaking of comrades,
what's up, Del?
My comrade is in the house. What is up, Del? Good to see you. So I don't know what people were expecting here.
I wasn't expecting this. I thought it was.
This is a sci-fi thriller, and it's only sci-fi because it happens in space.
Yeah,
it's really not that far in the future. In fact, they're getting ready to decommission the I.S.S. And when they do, they're actually talking about just shooting it out into space. Because it's just kind of falling apart. So they're thinking about getting rid of it and building a bigger space station. Which I think is why Tom Cruise is actually going to the I.S.S. to film part of Dead Reckoning Part 2.
Yeah.
He's actually going to be in space for part of this movie.
Can you imagine how I understand that guy?
I'm like, that would be the ultimate. That would be the next thing. That he's done all the stunts, and now he's got to go. He's got to go to die. He's going to go to die. He's going to die in space, and it'll be part of that movie. But yeah, I didn't have much of a problem with this. I mean, really, you've got 6 people on a tiny space station. It's not that big. There's not much you can do, and you're in space. You're in a ship that's made of tinfoil, where if you make one false move, you're gonna fire a gun on the ship, or you're gonna do something stupid, and you're gonna poke a hole in this ship, and everybody's gonna die.
See, what I wanted one person just to start hunting the people.
Yeah,
and I think
it could have happened that way where and you don't know which
Yes,
one.
you didn't know who it was. That's what I wanted.
Yeah. I think that would have been cool. And that would have made it a thriller from the jump, because they both get orders to take the station.
Yeah.
And then an American gets killed. And you're thinking, okay, one of the Russians is doing it, but then a Russian person gets killed. And you're like, okay, wait, what the hell's going on?
Mm-hmm. That's what would have made it a more interesting movie.
It would have, but yeah, it was really obvious what they did, and the stuff and the stuff that happened was really in your face. There was a nice little twist.
I did like the end shot. I will give it that. I did like the ending, the shot we got. You're probably right, though.
I could see it. It makes sense.
Totally see it.
And they'll probably show how they did it. They had to do like 6 takes. So they had to keep building the ISS and exploding it again.
Yeah.
Like, but of course, Tom Cruise would build a new ISS himself. But yeah, this wasn't, like I said, this wasn't bad. It wasn't great. I don't know if it's something that I would buy when it comes out.
I think I would buy it on Blu-ray if it was like $10 or under.
Yeah. I might like to see a 4K of it, but I'd catch it on streaming, just see how it looked.
Yeah. I wouldn't need this in 4K.
His asteroid canyon jumping would be more realistic than Armageddon jumps, but his life insurance would cancel him.
Right? I hate to be the movie person that has to pay for that.
Yeah. I'd hate to be the insurance premium on that.
Yeah.
But probably just say, okay, we're gonna have you sign this waiver. If you die, it's on you. But yeah, I mean, was this the worst movie I've seen this year? No, not by a long shot.
To me, so far, that's Argyle, but that's
was it great? Not by a long shot. But hey, fellas, maybe Argyle was a better pick for a date night over ISS.
Oh, see, I didn't like Argyle.
Okay. Well, we'll talk about. I really liked Argyle, so that's going to be interesting to get our 2 scores on that. But I did ISS and Argyle both on date night. So, yeah.
Okay, whoa. How did your wife like them? That's the issue. Did she like ISS?
She did. She was like, "This is okay." She was basically how I felt. It was like, yeah, that was okay.
Okay. Well,
yeah, and she really liked Argyle too. So we both liked Argyle, and then our mystery movie this week was Lisa Frankenstein. So
the new Diablo Cody movie.
Yeah,
that takes place in the Jennifer's Bodies universe. She said.
Okay, that makes sense. So
I'll keep my eye out for that.
Yeah, that was interesting. Yeah, if you get a chance to see it, I definitely like talking. Sarah, I'm glad you're still here. Good to see you. Still. So yeah, stay with us. We got 2 more movies to talk about after this. Somebody finally liked Argyle. I liked Argyle. I had fun. I enjoyed it.
Very disappointed in Matthew Vaughn.
The chance of me growing wings and flying is more realistic than anything in Armageddon. I loved Armageddon, but yeah, there's no.
What's more realistic than eating animal crackers off Liv Tyler's belly? That's realistic.
Right. Tune in next week. Looking forward to seeing Lisa Frankenstein. Lisa Frankenstein was fun. It was silly. It was dumb, but it was fun. So yeah, I'm gonna do. I haven't done mystery movie reviews for the last 2 movies, so I've got to put one out for Land of Bad and Lisa Frankenstein. So those are coming. That's why you said you were 41. Happy birthday, Sarah. I'd sing to you, but nobody would enjoy that.
Yeah, we don't sing.
No, we don't. We don't sing. We do Spirits of Spirits karaoke on Fridays. Because we're drinking, so we generally end up singing something.
Then they get dinged with the copyright.
Yeah. We don't get dinged because our voices sound so bad they can't tell which song we're singing. But let's go to the highlights here because you actually threw a 10 at this for visuals.
Yeah, it looked great.
I like the space scenes. I like how they showed the battle on the Earth with the explosions and stuff. I thought that was really cool. You also threw an 8 for the trailer, and then you have 7s for the story, direction, genre, and subgenre. I actually threw a 9 for the visuals. I threw an 8 for the trailer as well, and then I threw a 7s for acting, story, direction, and subgenre. But I have an 8 for genre because I think as a sci-fi movie, it actually played really well with the space and all that kind of stuff. I liked it. But the thriller stuff didn't stack up. I really wanted it to be more tense. And it didn't quite get there for me. Copyright strike, David. Why? But happy birthdays to Sarah. Love it. He would sing, but he doesn't want to lose 100. Yeah, I would lose all my subscribers. And then Rich would lose like 50. So that's almost as bad as me going topless.
I know. That's like I was just gonna. You took the words right out. I was like, that's going topless for a show.
Yeah. Yeah, that'd be so bad. But yeah, I'd say, you know what? I think this is worth a watch, but not worth going to the theater for.
No. Rent it when it comes on.
Yeah, watch it on streaming when it comes out. Don't try to pay too much money for it. But you know, if you're gonna rent it for like $5 on Prime or something, cool.
Yeah.
Or if you can find the Blu-ray for under 10, like you said, I think I'd get the Blu-ray for under 10.
Yeah, I would do it at 10. Like I wasn't a big fan of the Evil Dead Rise, but they had it for $5 on Blu-ray at Walmart, and I was like, you know what, I'm gonna give this another shot. $5.
Yeah,
you can't go wrong for $5. So
I'll revisit. It's worth $5. I agree with that. But let's go to our final scores on ISS. Coming in third place, you guys. IMDb is giving this a 5.7. Rotten Tomatoes critic score 62. Audience score 44. Rich, you gave it a 65. I gave it a 69 for a total average score of 67.
We were closer on that one.
Yeah, that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah.
All right. So we got 2 more left. Which one do you think comes in second place this week?
I am going to go the Bellaire House.
You are correct. The Bellaire House comes in second place this week, you guys. This is a paranormal documentary on Scare Network TV, you guys. And yeah, this was Rich's introduction into the paranormal documentaries on Scare Network TV. So I am really interested to hear your thoughts on it.
I think I told you this when on Spirit to Spirits. I didn't have very high hopes for this. I didn't know how the production value was going to be. I'm not going to hold back. I enjoyed the documentary. I loved the Steve guy. I loved the owner of the house. She seemed like she knew what she was talking about. But I had issues with one of the hunters. I call them hunters, whatever you want to call them.
Yeah.
He was too vocal, if that's the right words. He didn't let things play out. You couldn't hear it yourself until they. I don't know. It's hard to describe. He was very. It felt like he was trying to be the focal point and steal the thunder from what was actually happening in the house.
Yeah.
But you take that aside, the camera work was great. Like I said, what's that guy's name? Steve what?
Steve Aston or Austin.
Okay. He was great. I liked him.
I'm sorry, it's Sean Austin.
Sean. That's I said Steve, didn't I?
You kept saying Steve, and I'm like, $1 Million Man? No. It's Sean Austin.
Yeah.
We were John and I interviewed Sean on Spirits with Spirits, and we've talked to Sean. Sean gave us a shout out for 100 episode. So we know Sean Austin. He's a really good guy. He's stand up. He's honest. He's actually very religious. He's a religious demonologist and paranormal investigator. The other guy, Eric Connor, we don't know a whole lot about.
See, that's the dude
Yeah,
I had issues with.
Yeah, I agree with that. I agree with he was always trying to, repeat what the boxes were saying and talk over what everybody was saying. And yeah, I do get the impression that he was trying to steal the thunder.
Yeah.
And take over the show.
And I didn't like that. I liked the way Sean did it. He let the box speak.
Yeah.
He let it like finish a sentence.
He didn't repeat it either. He let it speak. He would answer, but he would let the equipment do the work.
Yes.
And then he would follow it up with what he was seeing or something else. Whereas the other guy was basically just repeating what the box was saying.
And I didn't like that. But also like how they brought the history of the house. Of course, it's a documentary. I liked how they did that. I liked how the owner, the lady, I forget her name, she went into what she experienced.
Yeah.
I like how they had.
Yeah. There was some serious stuff with her.
Yeah.
With what she went through with her dog being thrown across the room and
trying to get her to go to the basement.
Trying to get her to the basement, wanted to take her blood. Things like that. Yeah, there was some creepy stuff in there. Mika, you asked if it's found footage. It's not found footage. It's basically like it's a paranormal investigation, like what you would see on Ghost Hunters or Ghost Adventures or something like that. Only it's like an hour and 45 minutes.
And it's well done. It's well made. I was glad it was well made. It wasn't cheesy.
No, that was one of the things that we noticed when we first started watching these documentaries, meaning John and I, is that they're good quality work. It wasn't like a bunch of dudes with handheld cameras. The production value was good. The editing was good. Billy Lewis, the guy that basically runs the camera and does all the editing and direction and all this stuff, he does a bang up job. He's really good, and he runs Scare Network TV. So this is a paranormal investigation. There's a lot of great audio evidence in here, a lot of just wonderful history about the property and the mine underneath it with the fire and all the stuff that happened.
I think my favorite part though was I got two favorite parts. Is when they're sitting, the lady and I forget is it Sean sitting at the table with her and they're just talking. No, it's the other. There's three people at the table, right? It's towards the end where they're sitting at the table, just like having a conversation, and the spirit box is going off, and they're talking to it, and they recognize who's coming through.
They recognize the voice. Yeah.
I liked that. I really did. And then I like how they had two. I call them wannabe hunters, ghost investigators, a father and daughter.
Right. They were coming for their first investigation, and they were staying overnight in the house.
Yeah. And then they took off and never came back.
Yeah, they left at 4:00 in the morning and never came back.
Yeah.
And then they couldn't get a hold of them either. They wouldn't return their calls or emails or nothing.
So I would like to know what happened.
Yeah,
because that was.
So Caveman asked, "How tall is John? Because you looked short when with Spirit." Okay, I'm going to tell you, he gave me a shorter chair on purpose. We talked about that because he's not much. He's taller than me, but only like by an inch or two.
John's awesome.
But yeah, he gave me a friggin' dining room chair, and he's sitting in his desk chair, and it's up higher, like 6 inches higher. And I gave him shit for it too. And I'm like, "You gave me the shorter chair on purpose, didn't you?" And I was giving him crap about it. So that's really funny you brought it up, Caveman. Dell, you never heard of this one? Yeah, it's on Scare Network TV. And I wanted to start bringing this show to life because we're in our second season with Spirits on Scare Network TV. And they do a lot of promotion. They do a lot of great stuff. So Rich and I are going to actually go through quite a few of these documentaries and especially the new ones that come out. We're going to start incorporating them into our show where we can. But yeah, if you go to scarenetwork.tv, subscription is free. You can watch all this stuff. They do paranormal investigations, horror movies, true crime, and monster movies. A lot of classic horror movies, and they got some other ones that they just got, like The Taking of Deborah Logan and things like that they get the rights to. And that's stuff that I have on DVD. They're getting the rights to play on their thing. So they have a lot of movies and stuff that you can stream and watch. Not to mention my wonderful face and John's on Spirits with Spirits, because we did 32 episodes for season 1, and we're already 4 episodes into season 2. So
if you guys haven't checked out Spirits with Spirits, it's a fun show. It really is. And I'm not just saying because I'm friends with David or John. I'm being serious. It is a fun show that you can tell they're having a good time, and the subject matter is great.
Yeah, we have a blast on the show. We laugh.
Especially when Dave's drunk.
What's that?
Especially when Dave's drunk.
Oh yeah, and it happens more than you think, but not as often as it might be. But I'm definitely not as drunk as often as John is, because one of us has to be sober enough to play the stuff and
right.
Do all the videos and stuff. And you are lying. You have not seen me pass out on a stream. I have never passed out on the stream.
I've seen her pick his nose, but never pass out.
I picked my nose. And I've picked my friends, but I've never picked my friend's nose. Speaking of which, Movie Hunter, good to see you, my friend. Yep. Love it. Yeah, Mika loves the show. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. Perhaps someday I can stand next to you and make you feel, well, never mind. I would only want you to feel positive things. Thanks, Caveman. Appreciate that. Yeah. He's 6'2", so I know I'd feel like I was standing in a hole. Spirit Box is definitely creepy.
It is creepy.
But yeah, there's some crazy stuff. Dave has never passed out that he remembers. That's right. I've never passed out. I've never thrown up, as far as I remember. I have stripped naked, but not for the show.
That'd be weird, Dave.
And speaking of naked, at least I got scores from the Tigers Apprentice. Yeah, you did. We appreciate your video, Grant. Thank you so much.
Yeah,
we
good
did
job,
that earlier.
We appreciate you, man.
We appreciate your input on that, and we're gonna play your Orion in the Dark review next week. But that's gonna be awesome. But yeah, I enjoyed this. I am a big. This is what I want to do with my second act. I want to do paranormal investigations. I want to do.
You're fucking crazy.
This kind of stuff. So this. Yeah, and this is so much better than anything you'd see on Ghost Adventures or Ghost Hunters or anything like that.
And I don't like those shows. I think they're like the Finding Bigfoot. I'm a Bigfoot guy, and I hate finding.
But I hate Finding Bigfoot. They piss me off.
Yeah, they're retarded. Yeah. I should say they're stupid. And that's how Ghost Hunters and Ghost Adventures all seem to me. They seem like this. Yeah, but this doesn't feel like that.
No, this doesn't feel like that. They go into the history of the place. They interview the owners. They talk about the stuff, and then they do investigations. They do follow up. They do second investigations, and stuff like that. And I mean, I've interviewed Billy a couple times. We've talked to him numerous times because we're affiliated with him and with Scare Network TV. We've talked to Sean a bunch of times. These guys are genuine dudes, and nothing to shake a stick at. I think I like the stuff that they're doing, and they because Billy was with the Demon House, something that we're gonna
that's the next one coming up in a couple weeks.
That's the next one coming up. We're gonna talk about Demon Castle, but Billy was accused of fudging the evidence for Demon Castle in a news report, and he was like, I don't have time to do that. That's all real.
I'm really? See, I didn't.
Yeah, I'm not that good. I can't I can't fake stuff. This was I recorded it, I put it on the thing. That's what it did. So he's like, I don't have time to do that. But yeah, he was like giving crap about that because there isn't a lot of evidence. There's not a lot of previous investigations there. So it was really hard for people to believe what was going on at the Demon Castle, which was interesting.
I'm looking forward to watching that.
Yep. Oh, Chris, what's up, brother? Thank you so much.
What's up, Chris?
Appreciate that. Flash the like button. I like it. Great job, Grant, on your video submission. I agree. Did an awesome job. I can't wait to get your review on Orion in the Dark. There isn't that many degrees of separation between Bigfoot and cavemen. No, they're not. I used to watch a few paranormal shows. The only one I still watch is Dead Files. I like Dead Files, and Dead Files is now Cindy Kaza now is the psychic that does stuff instead of Amy Adams. And Cindy Kaza, I think, is probably the most accurate psychic I've ever heard of. She's amazing. So yeah, I like Dead Files too. But I used to watch all that stuff. And I'm like, I could do so much better. We could do so much better with Spirits of Spirits. We're just working to where we can actually do those types of investigations. And by the looks of it, we're going to start doing something this summer.
Awesome.
We might be doing a couple of live investigations. We did a little investigation in Denver while I was there. We went to Cheeseman Park, which we've already reviewed, and we walked around and did a daytime investigation. So nothing major, but I picked up something on my SLS camera, which was interesting, which is like the Xbox Kinect. It actually detects like stick figures if it's somebody. And it picked up a stick figure. It picked up a figure standing next to a pillar in the pavilion of Cheeseman Park. So I got that on camera.
Cool.
That was interesting. Thank you so much, Mika. I appreciate that.
You guys check this documentary out. Definitely check this out.
Yeah. But the Bellaire House, this was really interesting. There's a lot of things that can contribute to the paranormal activity here. I think this house is really haunted.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And there's some crazy shit going on there.
No way would I stay in
movies, but would be so chicken to do the investigation.
Me too.
And I know I was talking to you about that, and it was funny. But yeah, no, I want to do investigations like this.
I would shit my pants. I am not gonna lie.
The Bellaire House on Scream. Yeah, it's Scare Network.
Yeah, Scare Network.
But yeah, the Bellaire House does documentary on Scare Network TV. And also on there is the Spirits of Spirits podcast, which John and I run. And it's a lot of fun. We're in our season 2 of that. We've been renewed for another year. And we love being on that network. The network does quality stuff. So if you guys haven't already, go to scarenetwork.tv and get a subscription, check out some of the stuff, and look at this documentary because there's some really interesting stuff here.
Yeah. Well made.
Yeah. All right. Let's go to our highlights on it because I don't think we've done that yet. So Rich, you have a 10 for sound here.
Yeah.
And then you have 8s for story, genre, and subgenre. For this one, the genre is documentary and the subgenre is paranormal. You have 7s for trailer, ending, and direction, which I think that's really good. For me, I have 10s for ending and for subgenre. I have 8s for cast, story, and genre, and then I have 7s for acting, trailer, direction, and sound. Cast mainly because I already know all these guys.
Yeah.
So, and it's basically when we do Demon Castle, it's the same guys. So only Billy brings his wife.
Oh,
His
really?
wife Molly comes on. It's her first investigation, and I'll tell you, the ghosts actually single her out and start doing stuff.
Oh, wow.
It was really interesting.
But the audio in this is what comes across the spirit box, or whatever the hell you want to call them, is really, really creepy. What they say and what you hear and what they want to do to the lady owns the house.
Yeah,
that's what I got a 10.
Okay. Let me.
Sure.
I got to figure something out here, because I found Grant's scores for Tiger's Apprentice, so I'm going to total them up.
While he's doing that, we're gonna start trying to give away as many digital codes as we can. This week we have The Covenant, the Guy Ritchie directed movie with starring Jake Gyllenhaal.
Yep.
Next week maybe we'll have Spider-Man Across the Spider-Verse. Then I found a stack of digital codes that I'll admit to you guys, I don't remember redeeming them because I already owned them digitally. So I'm not for sure if I put them in or not. So we're going to try to give those away. Then Dave has some to give away.
Yep.
So yeah, we're going to try to at least once a week for a while.
Tools. 8. Yeah, I've got to put this together. And I'm sorry, Grant, I would have done this earlier, but I just kind of got back from vacation, so.
He's got vacation brain, Grant.
16, 22.
You guys should definitely go check out Spirits of Spirits 100th episode. That was fun. Fun watch. Check out all their other episodes.
Yep.
They do a great job.
Okay, Grant, I have your score for Tiger's Apprentice at 75. And yeah, I never got my score for the movie I reviewed. Yeah, you gave it a 75. So not bad. You gave it a 75, I gave it a 67, and Rich gave it a 50.
I didn't like it.
He didn't like it, but that's okay. All films are subjective. I've been on there. The Amityville one, Amityville Resurgence. There's a connection to John and I on that. That was really interesting. So yeah, if you get a chance though, I think the home run is Maleficent. If you get a chance to watch that one, that's crazy. It was really good. Definitely going to check this one out. High numbers.
It's definitely worth a watch.
I'm so bad with my digital codes. I never redeem them. I understand, but let's go to our final scores on the Bellaire House on Scare Network TV, you guys. IMDb is giving this a 9.0, but it's 2 reviews, one of them being mine. So there's nothing on Rotten Tomatoes for this because it's a different network. But Rich, you gave it a 69. I gave it a 78 for a total score of 73.5. Guys, this is absolutely worth a watch.
Yeah.
So, yeah. So, and since you were talking about it and we're getting ready to do our number 1 movie, let's give away the code now. You guys, thank you so much for watching. We really appreciate it. We got 14 still on. And I appreciate you guys watching on the replay. Here is the code for the Covenant. If you guys want it, just announce in the chat that you got it. There we go.
So while we're waiting to see if anybody, how about we tell them about our new show?
We can go ahead and do that. So you guys, we're starting a new show where we're going to present 5 pieces of movie news or celebrity news. And we're going to call it Movie News at 5. We're recording it on Wednesdays, but it's going to air either Friday or Saturday at 5:00 Pacific time. I haven't decided yet. Originally I was thinking Saturdays, but I'm thinking maybe I'll just schedule it to air Friday night.
Yeah.
5's our thing. Yeah. So 5 is our magic number. High 5. by the numbers is 5 movies. So movie news at 5. We're going to present 5 articles at 5 p.m. on the 5th day of the week, which is Friday. So
I like that, yeah.
555, and I think that's how we're going to do it. And that just popped into my head.
Yeah,
so
I like that idea.
Yeah,
I think because we talk movies, we won't be dealing with TV news. There's always TV news. This will be dealing with movie news.
There'll be some TV news. It won't be a whole lot, but if it's connected to something that's in movies or whatever, because I know we've got something next week that's going to have to do with TV. Guys, it basically looks like that is our thumbnail for it. So it's going to be pre-recorded.
20 to 30 minutes. It's not going to be long.
Yeah, it's not going to be that long. We're going to take a topic. We're going to discuss it a little bit. I'm thinking about turning it into like an SNL thing where we joke about them a little bit. I think that'd be kind of funny, but we'll build to something like that.
Yeah,
if we do. And speaking of which, okay, what does Del say? Del says, I definitely should check it out. I am on record admitting to growing up in a haunted house. Thankfully, a harmless ghost, much more a ghost story than Amityville. That's very cool. I'd like to know more about that, Del. Rest in peace, Carl Weathers. That's definitely not the way. That is one of the things we're going to talk about. Every time I do with Roger, he thinks I redeem all of them, the ones I send them to. Yes, rest in peace, Carl Weathers. Yeah, rest in peace. Movie news at 5. I like it. Good. I'm glad. Rest in peace, Carl Weathers. And I'm also going to say rest in peace, Toby Keith.
Yeah.
Toby Keith passed away. He has been in a couple of movies. I'm about to go on another cruise.
Wow, man.
I've never been on a cruise, and you're going on another one? Man. Not sure, but I think I got it. Okay. When does it premiere?
This week.
It premieres this week. We're going to record it tonight. It premieres this Friday at 5 p.m. Pacific or 8 p.m. Eastern.
Yeah.
You're welcome, Jay.
Yeah, well, what's up, Nate? Hope you're doing good.
Nate? Good to see you, my friend. Yeah, we want to get you back on for another By the Numbers.
We're going to pick the shittiest movies for you to watch.
Yeah, we're going to pick some shitty ass movies.
We're going to outdo Alex's.
We might try to outdo Alex. I mean, we weren't even trying with Alex, but boy,
we're going to give him all Tubi movies.
Yeah,
Tubi originals.
Rest in peace, Carl and Toby.
Yeah.
Don't go on the Poseidon, Sarah. Just rewatch that last week. I don't think that ship's out there anymore, but yeah. Nate says, let's do it. Let's do it. Let's get in there. So yeah, look at our schedule. I know Mika and Kira want to be on By the Numbers as well.
Awesome.
I know Caveman's always ready to be a glutton for punishment, so Tubi originals. Oh no.
That's gonna be Nate's.
Oh, that would be fun. I mean, it's bad enough that we try to grab Shudder originals and those usually suck, or Hulu. Hulu originals are usually pretty bad.
Yeah.
But that's funny. I don't think we've grabbed a Tubi original yet, but that'd be hilarious.
There is a good documentary on Tubi. It's TMZ put together, the UFO documentary. It's a 3-part. It's pretty good.
Nothing with commercials. or I'm out. So yeah, we're gonna. Yeah. So what do you think about Prime throwing in ads now? Speaking of commercials,
I don't have an issue with it.
It's not bothering me. I'm fine. Whatever.
Yeah. I get it. It's a way to make money.
Yeah, Covenant's so good. So
it is.
Yeah, I'm glad Jay got it.
That last night.
Yeah, Covenant's good, man. Again, I think that's a snub for the Oscars. I think Dar Salim should have been nominated for Best Supporting Actor.
Yeah. It was in theaters one week and out the next.
Yeah.
It didn't get much love in theaters.
Yeah. But man, he did such a good job.
We did.
But I think it's RDJ's to lose. I think he's going to take that.
Oh yeah.
All right, let's do our final scores on the Bellaire House. No, we did do that.
Yeah, we did.
We did do it. I remember now that I just. Let's see. Whatever ship you're on, make sure you have enough oversized large doors so you can share a door. I know. Don't let that guy drown. Ads remind me of how we used to watch TV. We forgot we had commercials. We've been spoiled. I agree. Yeah. And that's why when we're watching True Detective, it's like it's showing every week. So I like that. Be easy now. If Caveman gets crappy movies to watch, it generally means I end up watching them too.
We'll make you watch all scary movies.
I didn't mean for that laugh to sound evil, Miss Caveman. I really didn't. But
he did. Don't let him fool you.
But that just, I was like, oh, really? That, it's almost like a win-win, I think. But no, I wouldn't do that to you knowingly, Miss Caveman. But now that I know,
we will do it to Nate, though. We'll make sure Nate.
We'll do it to Nate. I have no problem doing that to Nate. I don't think Alex will ever come back for By the Numbers.
I don't think Alex will either.
I don't think he'll ever come back. I think if we go and ask him, he'll be like, yeah, sure. So far the Prime ads for me have been very short. I hate commercials, so if it does get worse, I might have to pay.
That's
I know. I mean, I feel like I'm already paying because I'm a Prime customer. I pay that, 100 and some odd bucks a year. So I feel like I am paying. So why am I getting ads? But yeah, the ads haven't been bad. Yeah. So he said he would do it again. Okay. I know we'll have to ask him though. I don't think you'll volunteer. Alex won't be back. Oh no, the movies were that bad. The movies were bad.
Yeah, they were terrible.
The movies were bad. We made him watch Black Demon and Little Mermaid, and it was bad.
It was so bad.
It was so bad.
All three of us hated it.
It was so bad he didn't even want to score it. I'm just gonna give it a 10. I don't even want to score this one.
Yeah.
Mom always does this after her foot surgery. Okay. So I see how it is. But I'm glad you have your mom though. My mom unfortunately passed away when I was 21. So he liked The Nun too. So
that's true.
He was almost the only one who liked The Nun too.
I did not like The Nun too.
He liked it more than I did. I liked it, but I didn't love it. I also use a Fire Stick, which has ads built in, so I think I should be exempt, right? I think now you're getting double ads. That's not fair.
Yeah.
And speaking of which, Scare Network TV is now on Amazon Fire. So,
nice.
So yeah, you can get that there, and Roku, and they're working on getting apps for all the other stuff too. Yeah. So, but pretty awesome. All right, let's go to our number one movie, you guys, and the number one movie is Justice League: Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1.
This is a mouthful, isn't it?
It's a mouthful. It's a huge title.
I like this. I had fun with this. I love the animation style in this. I like how they use a different style when they restarted this universe. The Tomorrowverse is what it's called. Mm-hmm. I like the animation style. I think the voice acting in here is a lot better than the Tiger's Apprentice. But you also have to remember this is part 1 of a 3-part story. So yeah.
I didn't know it was 3 parts.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, Mika says to say that title 3 times. No,
I couldn't say it once.
So yeah, Justice League: Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1. Okay, I like the animation. I like the action here. I think DC always does their animation really well. It's a huge title. Say that 3 times fast. Okay, we've already got that. Caveman. Comic book, cartoon movie, easy to call it. Rich likes it.
Yeah, I did. I really did.
It is. I did not like it as much as Rich did, but I did like it. This was one that was. I mean, it was interesting to watch, but I wanted the whole Amazo thing to be shorter.
Yeah. I agree with you on that.
I think that took too much of part 1.
But I also liked how they did it.
I liked that event. I think that could have been a movie by itself.
Yeah, I agree.
And then maybe do Crisis on Infinite Earths, just make it a 2-part thing, and then do the Amazo thing as one movie. Like, I think that would have been cool. Well, let's read the synopsis on it. It says the Anti-Monitor, the Monitor's evil counterpart, is released in the DC universe and begins to destroy the different Earths that compose it. The Monitor attempts to recruit heroes from across the multiverse, but is murdered. I think they gave too much of that.
Yeah.
But let's see, are the other parts available too? Not yet.
Not yet. I think the second part comes out in April, I think.
Second part comes, I think it is April.
Yeah.
And
what they're going to do is they're going to release these individually, and then after the third part, they'll probably put it all in one disc.
Put it all in one package. Yeah.
Yeah.
I enjoyed this, but I would much rather have all your parts at one time. I can see that.
I love seeing the different versions of these characters. I like how the Monitor brought them into the wherever they were at. I forget what it was called. I like how we got Psycho Pirate. I thought that was kind of cool to see.
Yeah,
because that character plays an important role later down. I hope you like it though. Let us know when you get a chance to watch it what you think. You having an earthquake? Your camera's shaking.
No, I think I'm bouncing in my chair.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, I'm trying not to cough. I've got this tickle in my throat that's bugging me. So
okay.
Yeah, part 2 April time frame and part 3 September.
See, we'll get them all reviewed this year. I'll put them in there because I like them, so we'll put them in there.
Yeah, he likes them, so he'll put them in there. I'll get by with a little help from my friends. Is the Anti-Monitor 6 hertz, 8-bit, 256 colors? Yes, it's monochrome. But I don't know. This was interesting, but yeah, I liked the whole Amazo storyline and that Flash was jumping back and forth.
And it's touching with Dr. Tomorrow or whatever his name is, Dr. Ivo. I think this was
Dr. Ivo. Yeah.
Like what he was trying to do. I really dig that. And then what happens to him, and then Amazo's reaction.
Yeah,
I really liked that.
I like that. I wish that would have been.
Yeah, I know what you're saying. Yeah,
I wish that would have been a different thing.
Yeah,
and they just did the Crisis on Infinite Earths, but I do see how Amazo comes into play.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
but they could have done it.
And use the same thing.
Again, says once part 3 is 10 movie saga will be completed. Yeah. I think the Amazo thing could have been its own release, and that would have been interesting. I wasn't. I think they spent, to put this together in 3 parts. I think they spent too much time on Amazo, and started the Crisis too late.
Yeah, I wanted to see more of the alternate Earths. I like when the Flash went to the Crime Syndicate Earth, but I wanted to see more of the different Earths. I agree. Yeah, I would have liked that because in the comics and the storyline, you see the other Earths because you've already revisited them, and because the story was they had too many continuity stuff, so DC wanted to streamline all their books and have one universe, and that's what they did with Crisis on Infinite Earths. Yeah. Yeah,
there's a World and the Long Halloween movies as part of the same story.
Yeah, it starts with
Amazo is like the Ultron of the DC universe.
Yeah.
He was tough, man. I was like, and I do not know DC. I know characters, but I don't know storylines. I don't know, I don't know different universes. So this was all new to me.
Yeah.
And I enjoyed that. I really liked it.
It's good.
What's up, Reed?
Yeah, what's up? How you doing?
My voice went high on that one. What's up, Reed?
He just went through puberty.
So Crisis was awesome. Excited. I am kind of excited for the next 2 parts.
Hopefully we get to see more Earths, more Earth heroes, different versions. Yeah. On the same when they announced this, they announced a Watchmen animated movie that they're doing. So I'm interested. We'll be reviewing that when that comes out. Well, Dave's coughing.
One of my lungs is coming out, I think. But yeah, this was cool.
It had a very.
This was cool. I think this was better for me than Warworld. I didn't really care for Warworld as much. I enjoyed this a lot more. I was more familiar with the characters here.
Have you watched Long Halloween? Did you review that?
No.
Okay.
I haven't watched it.
Okay. Well, it's funny because there's the end credit scene after the credits roll. You know how most comic book has an end credit scene. The end credit scene here, or from the Long Halloween Part 2, happens in the middle of this movie, which I thought was kind of cool. I was like, wait a minute, I saw that already. And then I put two and two together. It was the end credit scene for the Long Halloween Part 2. It's when I'm gonna spoil it, when Flash and Green Arrow show up at Bruce Wayne's house with Superman in the car. Because Superman got his ass kicked. That scene of them knocking on the door and Alfred answering at Halloween, and he's like, Bruce, is this here for you? That's the end credit scene.
For Long Halloween?
Yeah. The new ones I really like, except for Warworld. I think this is the weakest one.
Warworld's been the weakest one that I've seen. I really like the first ones with War and Doom and Flashpoint Paradox is my favorite. I like all that stuff. But yeah,
that first series.
And I like the Constantine movies. I think those were really cool.
I think Justice League. Yeah, those. I think there was like 15.
How did you guys watch this? Rich picked it up on physical, if I'm not mistaken, and I watched it digital.
Yeah, it came out on digital like 2 weeks ago.
Yeah,
and then the physical release came out last week. I picked it up and then put it. He has access to my digital account, so he can watch it.
Yeah, I enjoyed Warworld, but I am a mark for DC animated Doom.
Mine too.
I like Justice League Doom. I enjoyed that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, no, Flashpoint Paradox is my favorite. But yeah, we have access to each other's Voodoo accounts. That way we can watch more movies together. So
yeah.
So if I buy it on physical, he can watch the digital and vice versa.
Yeah.
That's because we watch these movies together. We make sure that we both have access to them.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jay, I think it's worth seeing for sure. But yeah, I did not give this the sharing is caring, or as my daughter used to say, sharing isn't caring. Sharing is losing half your shit. But yeah, I enjoyed this. I
did too.
I'm
glad I bought it.
It's not my favorite of the week. I have a different one that was my favorite, but I think this was good. The average of our two scores ended up coming out with this one in first place. But let's go. What's that?
I was saying, what are our highlights?
I was just gonna get to that. Let's go to our highlights. So Rich, you have 10s for the cast, trailer, visual, genre, and subgenre. You have 7s for acting, story, and direction. I have 10s for cast and subgenre, and then I have 8s for trailer, visuals, genre, and then I have a 7 for story. So you guys, yeah, if you get a chance, check this out. It is on physical right now, or you can rent it on Vudu or digital or video on demand or wherever you're at.
Yeah, it's like a $6, $5 rental on most digital platforms, and I think the Blu-ray is like $20.
Yeah, if it comes out to streaming, do you think it'll be Max or?
I don't know, because they've licensed their stuff to Netflix now too. So I'm not. It'll either be Max or Netflix.
Max or Netflix. I agree. I think it'll be released to one of those platforms before Part 2 comes out.
Oh yeah, I bet.
All right, let's go to our final score on Justice League: Crisis on Infinite Earths Part 1. I got that all out this time. IMDb is giving this a 6.3. Rotten Tomatoes critics score 100%. I think it's like 7 reviews.
Wow. That makes sense.
Audience score 65%. Rich, you gave it an 83. I gave it a 72 for an average score of 77.5.
That's a good score.
Max for initial release. Thanks, Gabe, man. That's what I thought.
Yeah. But I liked it. I think David said too, it's worth checking out.
Yeah.
So next week, those are our 5 movies this week. Next week, Jay is coming on with us. And those movies for next week on Valentine's Day are Argyle, which is in the movie theater, Orion in the Dark on Netflix, Killers of the Flower Moon, which is on Apple TV Plus, Giovanni Going to Mars. Is that right? Is that how you say it? Is that her name? I think
that's right, yeah.
Yeah, that's on Max. And then Trolls Bands Together, which is on Blu-ray. And on digital, you can rent it. Those are our 5 movies for next week.
We've already talked about Trolls Band Together on our high 5 with Grant and Sunny. But we're gonna do that. We're gonna do the non-PG version of talking about Trolls Band Together next week. So our scores will be the same, but because we have Jay, it'll be the average of the 3 of us. So
we're making Jay watch that.
Yeah, we're making Jay watch that.
Yeah.
He tried to get out of it, and I'm like, no, we're still doing that one.
Did he?
Yeah. I usually get these animated a month after release when the Blu-ray drops to 15 or 10 if you're lucky. Yeah.
Yeah, I normally do too, but since this was a big release for the DC animated movies, I wanted to get a day 1 release.
Yep. Chris says, yeah, me too. The last one I got was Justice League Dark Apocalypse War.
That's the final finale in that last current continuity.
Okay, if you guys can please join us for something geeky tomorrow night with Chris C and John Doe, aka Jeff. Okay, yeah, you guys go over to. Is the something geeky? Is that going to happen on your channel, Caveman, or is it happening on one of the other ones? So let us know that for sure. I have to catch the replay next week. Got to celebrate Belle's birthday, which is on Valentine's Day. She is so lucky to have her birthday on Valentine's Day. That's like double presents. You can't forget that at all.
No, man.
Happy Valentine's. Happy. I don't want to say V-Day because that sounds wrong. Happy.
You know what Dell's be doing?
Chris says, shameless plug on my channel. Okay, so we're going to be on Chris C's channel for something geeky tomorrow night. You guys, that's going to be a lot of fun. But before Monday, we have a very special high 5.
Yes, we do.
So our theme for this month is romance movies. And the awaiting victim for Monday is me. So Rich and I will be doing a high 5 with me as the guest for my top 5 of my favorite romance movies, which I made Rich watch. And
I'm making my way through them. He's watching one a day.
He's gradually digging through them, and then we'll get his views on that and get my scores.
But I like romance movies. I like romance. I like love. Everybody likes love.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with love.
Yeah, especially if it's with the right person.
Yep. Can't wait. I'll be ready for next week.
I can't wait, Jay.
Can't wait. It's going to be so awesome. Yeah. Congrats, Dell. Been doing it for a whole lot of years. I bet you have. Yep. Please go and vote for Chris C for Horror YouTuber of the Month on Anthony's Horror and More. Looking forward to your picks, David. Okay.
Yeah. I've watched 2 of them so far. And what I owned, because I enjoyed that movie, and it was still, I haven't watched it in a very long time. And I watched it yesterday, and that movie still holds up. I still had a good time watching it. I watched one today. No. No. Just no. And I still got 3 more to
That's
watch.
funny because I don't like romance movies. So for you to get me to watch a romance movie, you need to bring something else to the table.
Right.
You make something explode, give me some magic, make it, make people die, make it science fiction-y, whatever you have to do. Give me something else to distract me from the romance, and I will enjoy it. So yeah, it'd be interesting.
I got 3 more left. I'm gonna try to knock those out this week. Oh, thank you. I really appreciate it.
Yep.
Awesome.
Yep, that is awesome.
I appreciate you, Sarah. So yeah, man, we got those are the we got that coming up on Monday, and then like we got Jay coming up on Wednesday, which is gonna be fun. We haven't had him on here yet. I'm probably gonna catch shit for it because I always catch shit for the movies I don't like.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Oh, thanks, Sarah. I'm glad you mentioned me later. No.
They still dying over there.
I'm still dying. There's something definitely going on. I don't know why. It's just all of a sudden. But yeah, it also, if you guys get a chance, go over to the Double Feature podcast. That's Mika and Kira's channel next Wednesday night at 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern for True Detective episode 5. We've got 2 more episodes to talk about. I am guest on the show where we talk about all that stuff. You are right, Mika. I've got to make some more tea because I am out. It's empty. Y'all, my boys, I appreciate that.
Sarah, you're awesome. Don't ever forget that.
No, happy birthday, girl. It's
happy birthday.
It's great. You should celebrate, and I hope that you have celebrated. I'm glad to hear that you're going on a cruise.
Have fun for us.
Yeah, we really don't get to do that kind of stuff. So, but yeah, my birthday isn't until May. So
mine is until September. So.
And I'm so old now. I just don't celebrate it anymore. It's like I've had so many of those.
But we're thankful that we get another one. We're still thankful.
We're thankful that it comes, but it's like, okay. It's like daylight savings time. Okay, I'm going to throw the clock back an hour.
Yeah.
Great. But that's about as good as it's going to get.
Yeah.
Jay, you take care too. We're going to see you next week, next Wednesday, Valentine's Day, with our special guest, Jay Manley. That's going to be awesome. You have a surprise for me. God, that's awesome.
Yeah.
Highly recommend Mr. Right. Oh, dude, I love that movie.
I have never seen it.
My daughter got me on that one. I think that was Netflix we watched it on. Again, Sam Rockwell is kind of a spy dude, assassin guy, and it was good. It was funny.
Really I have seen that. Yes, I've seen that.
That was fun. Thanks.
Well, thank you. On that note,
I say every birthday I'm still here. Is a good one. I agree. Caveman's is September 25th.
Awesome. Well,
thank you. On that note, I love that too. Great stream tonight. Yeah, I think that was a great show, brother.
Thank you guys. Thank you for the guys in the chat. You make the show fun for us, so we appreciate that.
Yeah, we definitely appreciate that. Before we go, though, I have to acknowledge our sponsor, which is Spotify for podcasting. They take the audio portion of our live stream, sponsor us, and then link it to other podcast sites like Amazon Music, iHeartRadio, Pocket Cast, Castbox, Radio Public, and Google Podcasts. They do it all for free. And they give us more sponsors when we get more followers. So if you guys get a chance, go over to Spotify, hit that follow button for us, and then you can listen to us on any of your favorite podcast stations. Good night, Del. And we're going to say that as well. Thank you so much for Rich and myself. Thank you. God bless. Have a great weekend. We'll see you on Monday for our romance high five. But until then, the Faces for Radio say good night, and we'll see you next time.
God bless.
That is not the right one.
No, it was not.
That was not the right one. Holy guacamole. We're going to take just a quick second so I can find the right one because that was not right.
And remember, Movies at 5 premiering this Friday.
Yeah, Movies at 5. We're recording it tonight, premiering this Friday, 5 p.m. Pacific, 8 p.m. Eastern, or 7 p.m. British time. Yeah. Sorry. Like I said, I'm coming back to the thing. Yeah, I appreciate that. Thank you. Best wishes on pre-recording later. Thank you. Yeah, Brian, appreciate that. Yeah. Oops. That's my fault. That's my bad. I think I was in the wrong folder when I grabbed the outro. Want to say good night. Good night. I'm waiting for this to finish loading. And there it is. Okay. Now we're going to say good night. Thank you so much. We'll see you next time.
Goodbye.